universe of Warcraft, as we've moved forward, has become a complex web. Last episode had us journey to another world to glean its history. Today, we learn of another world out there in the Great Dark, but this time on Azeroth. At the same time, major shifts of power are beginning to happen. So don't forget to like and subscribe and come. Take a seat by the fire as we journey through space and time. We begin in the alien world, a world that's named Argus. Upon this world, a burgeoning civilization is rising to dominance, and at the helm is a truly gifted race known as the Eredar. The Eredar people brought tranquility to the world. As one of the oldest races, they were highly intelligent and had an innate affinity for all magic. Their society, as it encompassed the world, was a truly beautiful sight to behold. Science, art, philosophy, and innovation were all equally praised. Their development was spurred on greatly by the presence of a world soul slumbering within the planet, one from which the planet itself received its namesake. The crystallized blood of this soul called Argonite helped them to thrive. Word was quickly spreading of this enigmatic species to the furthest reaches of the cosmos. They even came to the attention of the Naru, which are beings whose very form is a vessel for the holy light, gifting them with a powerful artifact known as the Atamal Crystal, which would be known as the Jewel of Argus. This is one of the most powerful artifacts in Warcraft's history, and would play many roles in the future to come. They appointed their leaders based totally on capability. The first we know of were known as the Duumvirate, Valen, a master of the holy magic, and Kil'jaeden, an incredibly skilled magi. It was at this time that one of the esteemed orders, known as the Wakeners, gave a presentation to the Eredar people. In the display, they presented arcane constructs and familiars, ones that their order was so known for. However, it was here that they revealed the new type of magic they had been working on mastering. They summoned forth countless demons to destroy the arcane creations, proclaiming this to be the future for the Eredar people. They did not know how right they were for some time, but we will leave that for a future episode. They were admonished for their actions and told never to practice such magic again. But their leader, Thalkiel, was too far gone, and in secret would plot to summon more and more demons to overthrow the Duumvirate and install himself as dictator. It was his apprentice Archimonde who would betray the Wakeners and reveal this plot to the Eredar people, beheading his former master and burning all the research into demonic summoning practices, and eventually earning his place as one of the leaders of this glorious race. After he joined, they would be known as the Triumvirate. Back on Azeroth, however, the age of dragons was at its height. As the aspected flight's power grew, so did their society. They began to seek answers and knowledge themselves. This was a time of innovation and experimentation. They formed for themselves a seat of power on an island off the northeast coast of Kalimdor. This would come to be known as the Dragon Isles, and at its heart lay the awe-inspiring city of Valdrakken, its impressive spires being seen far and wide, a testament for all to see that these were indeed the world's protectors. From here, each of the different flights spread out, creating holdings for themselves in order to pursue the grand purpose to which they were tasked. The aspects grew closer over time. They saw each other as family, but such unity was not shared by all of dragonkind. This Titan-imposed order upon the dragons was not universally seen as a gift. Some of dragonkind saw it as oppression. Some believed that dragons were not the protectors, but the rightful rulers of Azeroth. What once began as whispers and murmurs gave way to louder voices. Leaders stepped forward who would offer a different path, to fight against the Titan-made rule. These proto-dragons became known as the Primal Incarnates, and they would spark a rebellion that would splinter dragonkind forever. It is not known how this happened, but the Primal Incarnates became infused with the raw power of the elements themselves, and it was found out through later study that this not only had an effect on them physiologically or even magically, but on an emotional level too. For example, those proto-dragons infused with fire also seemed to increase in anger and passion. These incarnates were Iridikron of Earth, Virak of Fire, Razagath of Air, and Viranoth of Water. The armies they commanded swelled over time, and they began to gain ground against the aspects. It was Neltharion, the Black Aspect, who was the first to come up with a solution. His genius had given way to the creation of an entirely new species, one that could serve as the Dragon Aspect's ultimate army. This race would be known as the Dracthyr, created from the power of dragons mixed with the strength of mortal races that had begun to show up. They would win this war for him and the other aspects. It has to be noted here that while Neltharion's intentions were true in wanting to defend dragonkind, the whispers of the horrors that were imprisoned beneath the world had used this connection to the deep places, used it to reach out, and perhaps not everything was as it seemed. But Neltharion had doubts. He could not unleash his ultimate army upon the world without first ensuring absolute control and loyalty. To that end, he employed a Titan-made device, one capable of controlling the very will and minds of his soldiers. It worked perfectly. The unity this device enforced ensured that they would be perfect weapon against the Primalist threat. Before he could unleash them, however, the Incarnates attacked. Razagath the Storm Eater would spearhead the assault. The battle raged on, and in one of the more devastating encounters, the device Neltharion used to control the Dracthyr was shattered. The unity was lost, and in that moment, he gave in to despair. He would turn now to his last hope. He accepted the gift of the void, the old gods stirring in their cages and banging against their bars, all too eager to embrace one who could be bent to their will eventually. This newfound strength gave him power like he had never felt before. He would stop Razagath himself, locking her away within the froststone vaults beneath the Forbidden Reach. Now in possession of free will, Neltharion revealed the Dracthyr to the blue aspect Malygos, and assured him that they were too dangerous to be free. He had the Spellweaver create a magical stasis to encase them, and leave some of the blue flight to guard over them, until control could be re-established over time. However, due to events that we will cover soon enough, they would not see freedom for countless millennia. With their lines broken, the other incarnates eventually fell to further battles. They were sealed away within the depths of a hidden vault. Peace now fell over Dragon Isles once more. Their great work continued. However, the actions of Neltharion that fateful day would seal the fate of the dragons forever. The legacy he would leave behind would be unimaginable. But once again, this is but a single part in an endless tale. So thanks again for all the support. It really does mean a lot. Every comment, every like, every subscription. Oh, and there's so much more planned, so don't forget to come back anytime.